Welcome back to Are We Really Friends with Kaya Allen. Today's episode is going to be through the theme of imagination. I'm going to be talking with my longtime friend Erica, who we haven't spoken to in probably about 3 years. So we're out of touch, but I wanted to reconnect with her for this just because she is a very interesting person. She's been described as baby spice with swamp witch energy, chaos in a meat suit, chimney sweep in a past life, and she was definitely wiping down carts before it was cool. The quote I chose today is from Henry David Thoreau, who I thought was a pretty great decision based off of what I know about Erica. If you don't know about Henry David Thoreau, he was a very popular environmentalist, but also an advocate for abolition, tax resistance, civil disobedience, conscientious objection, and a smidge of anarchism. And the quote is, "In love and friendship, the imagination is as much exercised as the heart, and if either is outraged, the other will be estranged. It is commonly the imagination which is wounded first, rather than the heart. It is so much the more sensitive." Having this conversation with Erica really reminded me how silly I used to be and how I want to engage with a lot more of that silliness in the day-to-day life that I'm leading right now with all my new friends. Either way, I hope you enjoy the podcast. Let me know what you think. So, you and I have been friends for a while, but we have also been out of touch.
Yes.
So, I wanted to talk to you for a few reasons because I think that a lot of people know what that's like, right? Because I still consider us friends.
Oh, yeah.
It just, we're not regular installations in each other's lives, and we're kind of
That's
okay
me
with
with
that
everyone.
balance, you know?
Yeah. I'm also an Aquarius.
Yeah, you're weird, man.
I have you on my friend shelf.
Do you? That's nice. That makes
No,
me
just
feel
in
nice.
my head. I have my little shelf of
I thought
friends
you.
that
Oh, I
keep.
thought you meant like an.
Oh, like a person suit.
You're like, yeah. There's a couple pieces of you I found lying around.
Oh, that's why I wear this though. Like I wear like Hello Kitty and stuff. That's like my person suit. So then when I start
really?
talking about Ted Kaczynski and like, the homeless people stealing my water.
So that's like your foot in the door is.
Yeah, it puts people off guard.
We wouldn't want them to be on guard.
No.
Oh, God.
No.
How long have we known each other now? It's like
10 years. How old is your child? How old is your eldest blood?
I think it's like, because I think like Eric and I and you and I started talking around the same time.
Yeah, so you started talking to him and then
yeah, like it was within the like 2 months of it happening. So that's cool. Let's see, we were living in Salt Lake City. That was fun. And and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Last I remember, okay, so you were living in San Francisco. You were working for some sort of like tax office attorney.
Yeah, I was in accounting. I was an accountant.
Yes, you were. That's why I was just like, well, can you tell me what you do now? We were kind of talking about it before, but I want to know now, comparatively to what you were doing then.
So when I was in Utah, I was some like customer I was in the art department, customer service. I was all over. I was a mess. They didn't want me anywhere is what it was at the end of the day. I was so glad when I left, but because I was a wreck.
You remember that guy on the bus that yelled at you for your septum piercing?
Boots.
Yeah, and he had the Four Locos in his.
He had Four Locos, and he had high waisted shorts.
Big ass
He
fucking
was so
glasses.
mad about it. He was so mad about it.
He really
So
was.
angry. Men react like that to the septum ring, and I enjoy it. They get very angry. So even the people that are not here are upset about it. They're very upset.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. So
Boots. I just thought of Boots. Where is he still riding the bus?
I literally think about him anytime the word filthy comes up. I think of him. Like that, and when I see septum piercings, I think of him. Like he is a constant fixture in my life. My kids now say things. They go filthy, filthy. They have no idea what it means, but I've said it so often that they've just emulated it.
And you just look at people as filthy, filthy, filthy. That's like one of the best days of my life. I love when I get those interactions. That is honestly why I'm pursuing my career path. Those are my people.
Right. Finish telling me about that. Okay, so you were in the art department for all the merchandising, right? Is kind of basically what it was. And then you flew to California.
Flew away.
Yes. Flew away. I was there one morning, and then you weren't there when I came home.
Yes. I discovered I had a myriad of mental illnesses I was not aware of. Right. So there's that. Also, another reason why I've kind of pushed a lot of people out of my life, like blocked them on Instagram, is due to that. Thinking of grand conspiracies against me from pretty much anyone. You were never included. I have about 5 people that I did not block and think that they were actively working against me or tattling on me. I did get a bunch of crazy phone calls though, so that was kind of like the beginning of the blocking spree where I just kind of excommunicated a lot of people. I was scared. So it was kind of like a mixture of untreated mental illness and some problems with drinking. Treating all of my issues with drinking and actual psychotics in my life stalking me. So it was a very interesting time. So then I ended up in San Francisco.
Right.
Like a bum in the wind.
What kind of like, I know we're sort of skipping ahead a little bit, but what are your relationships like now? Like, what do you have a best friend right now, or kind of what does your off time look like?
Oh, girl, no off time.
Okay.
Well. So I just I've always throughout my life, that's like one of my few innate abilities is to pick people up, like friendships. I just kind of Velcro myself along onto people. I hope it's because people find me somehow endearing, but I don't know. It might just be the carnival factor. Like my insanity is also
well,
it is a fun ride.
I mean, that's honestly why I always liked having you around, is because, and why I was excited why you chose this theme, imagination. Because you're definitely like top 5 weirdest people I've ever met. And like,
you know what? I'll take that because I'm not number 1, and I'm number 1 on so many people's lists. And I'm not. See, look at me.
I know. That's called growth.
I'm stable. Just kidding. That's a lie.
But like, you never know what to expect. Like, I remember I found it so endearing, like your sauerkraut and cottage cheese snack. Disgusting. Delicious. But also very endearing. Because I was just like, oh my God, this woman is banana. I don't know what to expect from her, but at the same time, like, you're a roaring introvert.
Food I would eat. I just remember you getting so angry. You're like, stop this. You would get bad for your body. Angry at me. You're like, because I wouldn't eat anything but just like a can of chicken, and then I would drink 240s. And that was it. And then smoke like a pack of cigarettes. I'm like, let me eat this canned whole chicken. And what did I put in it? Like hot sauce and like ketchup.
I still can't stand the sight of canned chicken.
That's all I want. All I want to eat is MREs I want to eat military food. I want to live like in a bunker. That's my dream, to live
You're
in a bunker fully locked down.
you have this like feral cat quality that I also
Yes.
really enjoy. And it's like that same thing. Like when you see like a stray cat eating like a hamburger patty on the sidewalk, I was
Yes.
like, it's Erica
Yes.
energy.
That's me. The really gross one though, the cat that has like one eye closed and it's
Yeah.
like dragging the wrapper, that's me. It's like, oh, this is relish on it, delicious.
It's like way too big for its body. Yeah.
Yeah. Just the head just bobbling to one side.
Jesus.
That's
Uh,
definitely my energy. Some people can't take the heat.
it's true. I do have
The
some
kitchen is hot.
the thing is like this is gonna sound so stupid, but it's hard being the interesting one sometimes.
It is.
You're like, do I have to carry it all?
It's a burden, damn it.
It is.
It's a burden. Sick of it. And you just look at them and you're like, how could you be so boring? You have nothing to say. Have you met people? That's the one thing is I can attract people. I don't know if you've encountered this, but I can attract like people to be friends with because I don't know. I think it's like a sideshow, it's like free entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm just not interested in them. Like, and it's so hard for me to feign interest. And like, they're like, oh, come to my generic like event. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to go listen to some like old, gross pop country and talk about science. Like, I actually am interested, which I'm really not. Like,
I know. I
the
want to
things
do
that I
fun
want to
shit
talk
like
about.
chicken shit
Yeah.
bingo and like fucking,
Yes.
I want to go bowling in a fucking like glow stick. I don't know. I want to do something fun. I want to go to a rage room. Like if I
Oh,
have to
I
go
would
out
love
to
a
brunch
rage
one
room.
more time,
I hate
I
brunch.
I like it. It's just like that's all we eat. That's all we do,
It's
right?
brunch. Mm.
So you went to California. You were working for as an accountant.
Tell me how this happened. I don't even know how it happened. Suddenly I was an accountant.
Mm-hmm. And you were drinking like what's the size they make bigger than venti? Yeah, just
Oh,
like
I'm still doing
guzzling
that.
down Americano.
I
Like,
got on the cold brew and now I
no.
brew my own cold brew and
Oh
I
my God.
drink probably 90 ounces of cold brew a day.
I
And my
mean,
doctors are like, you need to stop doing that. And I was
you're
like,
gonna have a heart attack.
yeah, I shrunk. Girl, I am so unhealthy. And that's another thing. That's the irony of me being a doctor, of wanting pursuing a doctor, is I am a fucking mess. Like I've always been a mess, but it's just all the chickens are coming home to roost. Is that the term?
Yes. I would
Eating
say
the
that you've always
sauerkraut and
been
cottage cheese daily.
I would say you've always been a hot mess, but now you're just a mess.
I have a
So,
dumpster on fire floating down the river, but I have a little hat on. I have like one of those little graduation hats on when I'm floating down.
but like the thing is like what I'm most excited about is that you seem to have direction now, right?
I'm a dumpster floating in a direction.
Just going with the current, man.
Girl, I'm going with the flow. Hey, where are we gonna end up? You never know. I might end up just being a neuroscientist and being on
Just
Joe Rogan.
I'll just be a neuroscientist.
I might be on Joe
Settle for
Rogan.
that it goes. Golly, boy. All right. So so you did mention a little bit kind of your own situation with mental illness. Was that the main thing that got you into this field?
Definitely. I wanted to know what was like, I like to know the workings of things. Like why do I feel this way? I distinctly remember like one of the first times that I had like a severe panic attack. To be frank, I have obviously PTSD. We don't go into that, but
No.
but I have like a panic disorder. And I remember distinctly the first time I had like a real panic attack was in our apartment. And I remember, I don't know if you remember, but I was like calling my physician from like 6 years prior saying, can I get antidepressants? Can I get anything? Send me a prescription. I'm going crazy. But I wanted to know why this was happening to me and why I feel the way that I did. And I know so many people affected by mental illness that I just wanted to know why. Like psychology is one thing, but like what is the neural mechanism of these problems. And that's been the most interesting thing for me, at least, is when I'm pursuing neuroscience and then doing research, is that just kind of figuring things out on a basic level. Like, this is literally a misfiring, miscommunication. Everything starts because of a breakdown in communication, even mental illness. Like, even your own brain it's not communicating correctly. So it makes things easier when you know that there is like a biological reason and not just I'm fucked up, like.
Right.
Another reason I will not be replicating is that it is genetic. A lot of these things are genetic.
Right.
And it makes it easier, I think, at least, to know that it was out of my control. This wasn't something I did. It wasn't, because girl, there was plenty of things I could have done it.
Right.
Like the drinking, just living the way that I did. I mean, what was the quote? One of my favorite quotes from Absolutely Fabulous. I thought it summed up my entire life. Living from self-induced crisis to self-induced crisis. Safi was talking to Dina.
It's such a fabulous show.
Right?
It's so annoying that more people don't know about it. I hate it.
It is the greatest show of all time. And that is who I emulated, was Patsy Stone. She was my complete idol. Loved her. Wanted to be her.
I always wanted to be Adina. So
we were the perfect.
Yeah. I was just I thought I was just like, oh my God, I love her style. I love her energy. Like, she doesn't give a fuck, And the one thing I was just like, okay, well, I mean, I want to be a better mom than her. I wouldn't go that far. She's definitely the extreme of that.
I definitely would not be saying any of that stuff to your kids, but like Patsy, no.
So I think we've pretty much answered this question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Do you think you have a very active imagination?
Absolutely. And it is awful.
And I think we've also established that it adds some spice to your relationships.
Entertainment. Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Is there ever been a time where it's not good?
Every day is bad, I think.
Just like in day to day, or in regards to like relationships?
Well, relationships. Oh my God. Day to day, I think it is a net positive, honestly, because I can't imagine living a boring life, or, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I always imagine things to be a lot more grand than they are. Like, oh, this person's following me. Like, I'm not going down into dating stalking territory.
Right.
Oh, I'd love to be a targeted individual. I love watching their videos. They're the greatest. But like, I don't know. I used to try to scare people, and this is something you probably know. I have a checkered past. When I was a child, I was not very nice. But I used to try to scare people, and I would come up with these big tales, and one of them was Big Hand. I created a creature named Big Hand, and we were talking about it around the campfire. And when I went up to the hill to go pee, I scared myself, and my friend, I didn't realize my friend had followed me up. And I turned around, I didn't expect a person to be there, and I fell down the hill with my pants down, and I was still peeing. So I scare myself a lot. I really do scare myself quite frequently.
It's so wild to me. Like, do you remember when we thought the closet in your bedroom was haunted?
The shadow person that lived in the corner. Because Greg would sit and stare at it, and I hated it. I was so scared. I was like, we need a blessing. We need to get this house fucking blessed. Meanwhile, I was the person haunting the room. That was probably my own fucking energy, my own bad energy from my fucking inflatable mattress. We would go a mess.
But I'm sorry about the bathroom being in your bedroom. It was.
You know what? It added to the spice of.
It gave a character, I think.
It did. We had a very lively household.
Yes, we did. Do you have a favorite dream that you recall?
Favorite dream?
Yeah, or like, it doesn't even maybe need to be favorite, but most memorable, maybe.
Oh, I had a dream about white ET that fucked me up for life. White ET. Do you remember white ET? Did you ever see ET?
What?
ET the movie, like ET phone home.
ET the movie.
Yeah. Do you remember when he gets sick and he's white and he's like on the ground? He's like, and he like reaches up at them. Well, I had to go through the basement to take out the trash when I was little, and I fucking hated it. I would come down the basement and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Every time I was like, it was like the heart, you know, when you're little and you're like scared and you're like, things just, it feels like the world is closing in on you. I hated taking out the trash so much through the basement that I had dreams about it repeatedly until one time I had a dream that white ET was laying on the floor next to the water heater and grabbed my legs and held on to me, and I couldn't get him off of me. And I've never forgotten that. And it scared me so much that I told my grandma, and she didn't even know who ET was. Girl, she was alive during the Great Depression. She was like, ET. I was like,
so I went to the cemetery for a picnic around Halloween time. And
as one does.
As one does wants to do. And I brought a Ouija board, and
oh hell yes,
nothing happened. And the hypothesis is that it's because we are at a cemetery and all the souls are at rest already.
Or so they're out bugging their family.
Yeah, you know.
Descendants.
Or just general buggering, maybe. But
or maybe it's like Sixth Sense and they're just lurking where they died. Remember the like,
and they just don't want to talk to me. That's worse.
Like the person that died on the bike, and they're just, and that's all he does is they just turn and look at the child in the car.
Dude, did I tell you my kid had a weird guy on a bike moment? So it was when we were still living in Kirkland, and we would walk Audrey to school, and she kept mentioning a guy that rides on a bike. And
oh hell no.
This is the other fun part of having kids is they do like weird creepy shit like this. Oh. And she's like, yeah, you know, he's right there. And she like points him out and there's no one there. And she's like, yeah, he rides by every morning on his bike.
Girl.
And I was just like, because I don't do ghosts. You know, I don't do ghosts. I don't like them. I don't like them.
Girl, I'll be like, we're going to church. We are going to church. I would literally just roll on a
you like turn around.
Water. Do they have like a scared straight program at the church to like stop the children from communicating with spirits?
No, and there's no way. She's a Pisces. Like I knew this was gonna happen. Like it was just it was a matter of when. Finn likes to talk about his past lives. So.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What were some of his past lives that he's aware of?
I'm trying to remember. He keeps talking about the 80s. Eric will know more about it than I would, but like he'll like recall like friends and like family members and stuff like that from seemingly nowhere. So we just assume that it's past life, and like he'll tell us about the job he had and stuff like that. And I'm just like, you know,
that would be the worst. You're sitting here trying to enjoy childhood, and you're like, man, I remember when I had to file these 1099s in 1986.
It was the worst.
I gotta go to work. My ex-wife was a bitch. He has like trauma.
He's like thinking the day he signed the divorce papers.
Yeah,
he's 4 years old.
He's 4, and he's gonna have to go to get some marriage counseling because of the scars that bitch ex-wife left on him. That is bizarre. I don't see. That's another reason I don't think I can handle kids, is because you combine my imagination with their imagination.
I know. And that's the thing, is like you never know when they're lying. Like,
see, that's because everyone's like,
I never know.
From the mouth of babes. I'm like, they are liars. They are lying liars. And I have caught my nephew. I would catch him. I'm like, you are a bold-faced liar.
Right?
I saw you. Like, and they do it so convincingly. Like,
it's unbelievable. You know what it is? It's because they're psychos and they believe what they're telling you.
See, that scares me.
Yeah.
And they're so cute, they get away with it.
So cute. You know, I never felt more seen. I remember seeing a Supernatural episode where like they found out there was the kids were actually these like soul-sucking demons. And so like
Yes.
while the mom was
I'm
sleeping,
like, yes.
while the mom was sleeping, they would like, you know, they had like these circular like teeth, you know, would suck on
like a
the,
lamprey.
yeah, like, and stuck on like the bone marrow of the mom while she's sleeping, and she's just getting more and more tired, and she's like,
That
I
is
don't
how I
know what it
imagine children.
is. I don't know what it is. And I was like, that is what it's like.
How do you
I
handle it?
love them. I love them.
They're so cute.
So cute. You know, it's they, yeah, they have
At
their own
least
little personalities.
that's what's so crazy is that they're like people.
Mm-hmm.
And they have their own, they're gonna have their own music interests, their own hauntings. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially like Audrey's, well, she's getting to around the age she's gonna be like a real person, like a
Mm-hmm.
teenager soon.
Oh, she already hates kids.
Bless
She was
her.
lamenting to me. She's
She's
just
like,
like,
oh,
kids are so boring. She's like, I want to hang out with adults. I was like, I mean, facts.
as long as I know them.
And
As long as
she's
these
like,
are
how can I hang out
strange
with more
adults.
adults? I was like, there's really not like a good way to streamline the access of strange adults to children.
Yes. And the people that want to hang out with 9-year-olds?
Yeah.
No.
So, you know, anytime I have a party, she's like, can I hang out? And I'm like, for a little bit. And she's just like, you know, she goes around, she makes her rounds and stuff like that. It's really funny.
And she was like 3.
Yeah. So
She wanted to wear my sunglasses, and I'm like, here you go, girl, glamour.
Where do you feel the most inspired?
Bathroom.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are
just like
that.
in the bathroom in general, or
on
like
the
taking a
toilet.
shower. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is when I do my best thing.
That's when I start laughing. I'll just start thinking of something and start laughing. So it provides a multi-layered experience to people that are hearing on the other end of me just laughing. A haunting laugh coming from the bathroom at all hours of the night.
You know, also
I just start laughing. I'll think about something that I saw and I'll just start laughing. Like, dude, I don't know what it is, crinkled hands. Anytime I see a crinkled hand, I think about it for weeks.
You know, too, and I'll do the same thing. Like, I'll be out in a public bathroom and I'll be thinking about the people standing outside of the public bathroom, and it'll make me start laughing. And then I'm just like,
you will laugh. Oh my god! When I used to go out in San Francisco, I would go clubbing. I still remember there would be huge lines for the bathroom, and I would get off on just being in the bathroom and they can't get in, and just people, the desperate pleading, like, come on, man. And I just had my Tecate or whatever I'm drinking, and I'm just sitting there laughing on the toilet, like I'm doing full photo shoots.
Oh my god. You know, and we still think about you, like anytime we have to drink a coffee like really fast, you know, and it's like too hot, you know, and I'm just like, what would Erica do? And he's like so hot.
How many times did I spill the coffee on me too? I still remember you sent me that Fred Perry, that baby pig Fred Perry. The first day that I had it, I jumped.
You flew too close to the sun. Yeah.
I can't have anything nice. I always remember that because you were always having to assist me to be a human. You were my connection to the material plane of existence. You were my tether.
I still remember. Do you remember when we went to Las Vegas for high rollers? The most badass thing I've ever seen is when you were talking to that guy and you just puked in a mug.
I handed it back to the guy?
Yeah. And I was just like, oh my god, that's his boss level.
They're still my friends.
Do you
I still remember that?
What?
I just handing it to the bartender without a problem.
Oh yeah, that was so gross.
I didn't mind it.
It was great. Have you ever had a great idea for a movie?
I would think that I had a great idea for a movie, but I don't think anyone else would like it. But
Do you remember what it is?
Yes. Okay, so here's my idea. I wanted to be a movie writer. I saw myself in the pictures, not as an actor. No. But I always wanted to write movies, and I took a screenwriting class the first time I was in college, which I never showed up to, but that was me.
It was the intent that counted.
It was the intent, so I say it. I took screenwriting, I just didn't go to it. So my idea was a haunted movie at Chernobyl, right?
Okay.
Where you have all the people that died from radiation there, radioactive ghosts. You would incorporate the Ouija board is into it, right? But it's in Russian, right?
Okay.
So the people are using Google Translate because these are American tourists, right? And then they insult them, right? They accidentally insult them because Google Translate is not great, right? Now we're tying in a multi-layered aspects. We're putting communism in here. That's a hot one thing right now.
The danger of technology.
The danger of tech. The lies that Google Translate tells. Hauntings, shadow people. You know what I mean? I wanted to have
climate change, probably.
Yeah, climate change could be in. I mean, we could put it in there. We could put critical race theory in there. I don't know how, but we'll put it in. We'll put it in.
We got Black Marines.
Yeah. Let me tell you, anytime I get a chance to drag the United States, I'll put it in there.
Can you imagine what the world is going to be like in 100 years?
Oh, what I think it is?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Let's unpack this right now. What we're seeing right now is a decline of the West. Okay? I'm here for it. I'm celebrating it, enjoying it, living my best life, right? The East is rising. Now you can see this in coalitions like BRIC. So we have Russia, India, China, right? They're getting together, Belarus, all these Eastern nations that the US has been unfriendly towards, aka blowing them to hell, taking all their resources, are sick of it. I think in 100 years, China is going to be the world's leading superpower. This country is going to be second world status because right now we are a developing nation with a Gucci belt, which I heard that and I was like, that's it. That's it. I'm here for it though.
Do you think sex robots are going to be a lot more popular then?
Yes. I will not be
totally.
One, but I'm here for it.
Oh,
get these sex pests off the streets.
Really?
Hand them out to these incels, please. Like, make them free. That's part of national security.
Oh God. Do you ever imagine yourself in very negative but unlikely scenarios? For example, in prison or severely disabled, or maybe doing things you'd never do in reality?
Yes. Every minute of my life. And that's on intrusive thoughts.
How could you handle jail?
No. And I already told people this many times. If I ever go to jail, I'm going to rub my feces all over the wall. Like, I don't give a shit. And they are going to suffer. I'm going to make everyone else suffer with me. I'm going to make everyone's life hell until they just kill me. And I'll say, do it.
So your plan is to just make it miserable for everyone, and then
I want to be the one on the block that's like smearing shit on the window and like writing messages and like invoking demons just to make them upset. Yeah, until they off me. Yeah,
you would be a nightmare roommate in jail.
In anything.
What kind of role does religion play in your life?
Oh, girl, I'm always hopping religions. I've been trying to join a cult. I just don't know which one. The Mormons are too boring. Scientology, I thought about it, but they're too emphasizing on like money. I'm not into that. I'm not into the material plane. I was thinking about joining the Eastern Orthodox Church just because it would help me with my Russian. And also, a lot of those dudes are hella hot. And I don't know
Have
if
you
that's a
seen
good
those?
reason to join a religion
Have you seen
or
those?
no.
Fuck me. They do ads on YouTube they're called Gaia,
What is that?
and they're
I
they're
swear
always
that was
talking
a
about like
website.
people, and like
Ooh, I do like that.
it's got a very our aliens overlord energy.
Ooh, I
So
like
that might
it.
be really appealing.
That is
Um,
appealing to me.
I think they might have
I'm
taken.
intrigued.
I mean, I could very well just be directing people to just like an offshoot of Scientology.
That's probably, it's like Scientology light. They're like,
Mm,
ours is only $25.99 a month, whereas
yeah,
Scientology's $5,000.
right.
You know, I can't afford Scientology, girl. I'm too poor.
What's your favorite activity to do alone?
Play The Sims. I like to kill them.
I like
I like
putting
to,
them in boxless rooms or windowless
yeah, the clown
rooms.
room.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
clown room, I've done this multiple. This is what I do for my stress reliever. I will play The Sims and I get all the expansion packs, whatever, for no reason, because I always do the same thing. I build a basement, fill it up with clown pictures, make no staircase, and I just drag people from the street. I'll have one person living upstairs. That's the front. And he's going about his normal life, or she will be gender inclusive and just living their life above. But then below, every person that's come onto the property is now in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And all they have is the clowns to look
Basement
at the
of
pictures of the
corpses
clowns.
and urine.
Yes. Yes. And then they try to clean
So
it.
much
They
urine.
get the mop out.
Yeah.
They get the mop out, and then they'll
when they're
die while
crying,
they're
and I love it.
And then
it's my
the
favorite
tragic
part.
clown appears. So the tragic clown is just standing there amongst all these people screaming, and it's great. And then you go upstairs, watching TV, just living his life. I like to imagine that they're part of it,
right?
And that's the only way that they don't end up in the basement, is that they just keep the facade up.
They had to make a devil's bargain.
That's how they got that house.
Because that's the only way to get in this market.
Tell me in this market you wouldn't, girl.
You're right. You're like, I don't have access to this room. Fantastic. It's like it doesn't exist.
Basement.
How would I have gotten in there? I don't know. How would I have gotten in there? What do you value most in friendship?
Entertainment, I guess. I don't know how to say that nicely. But somebody that's interesting. Intrigue.
Wild card.
Yeah. I need the other wild cards.
Right. No, I understand. It's dull people.
And
the thing is like you have people that are really nice, you're just like.
But you have to think about it this way. This is what I think about most people, that the only thing they have to say is what they watched on the news or a show. They'll recap a show to you. Have you these people where they just recap a show to you and you're like, is this who you are? You just recap shows. You're like a bot that's going to recap a show that I'm not interested in. I get a free recap for 35 minutes, longer than the show, with no ads. I have to listen.
No breaks.
Nothing. Just, and then badly retold. They can't even tell a story. Oh God. Oh, I can't. But you know what you think about these people? They're lucky. Because, honestly, they're probably living the best lives.
So uncomplicated.
Just living happily.
Yeah, just
you know what?
Eating,
they're the lucky ones.
Showering,
like a
pooping.
sim.
Yeah.
Until they get dragged into the basement.
Into the room of clowns.
To the clown room.
Did you enjoy COVID times?
Yes. I miss it.
Bet you
did. My God, Kaya, I miss it. I loved it. Everyone lived like me.
I know.
Everyone became me.
Little pack
I was
rats.
like, one of us. Are you afraid to go out too? Now we all have AIDS. Just seeing other people panicking, touching carts. I wasn't the only one wiping down the cart, thinking I was getting infected with, but I wasn't just thinking about COVID. COVID was at the very back of my mind. I'm like, dude, plague's going around again. And I remember I was talking to Mitt. It's like every chipmunk I saw, dead skunk on the road, potential plague vector. Rabies. That's what you got to be afraid of. But yeah, I really did like in like the lockdown, and on my school, I get to do everything on Zoom. It's so nice. I hate it.
Well, I mean, there have been some bright sides, right? There have been some overlap as to, you know, doing remote work isn't seen as so lazy. It's now like a viable thing.
Now, are you working from home now?
Yeah, I work from home.
See?
So
Perfect.
that's what I mostly do. What would you like people to say at your funeral?
I don't even know who would come.
I'd show up. I'd make an appearance. I mean,
well.
I'd plan other things around it. But...
Yeah, it just put, oh well. They can put that on my tombstone. Oh well. Lived at one point. Drain on the economy. Put that on my tombstone. Drain on the economy.
Oh my god. I saw this one tombstone at the cemetery over here. You guys
must have great cemeteries.
Oh, they're beautiful. They have like some pioneer ones, so there's like some from like the 1700s.
Oh, haunted.
Right? But one of them basically, it is an old speech, but basically it translates to she did the best she could. And I was like, what an underwhelming. I like that energy.
That would be my grandma put on my tombstone. Bless
my
her
children,
heart.
They're like, she was all right. Her. You know,
she tried.
So, okay. So, I mean, is there anything that you like, well, what do you want done with your body? Do you want like to be scattered in the wind or?
Oh, throw me in the trash.
Feed me to the vultures.
I think the modern death industry is a scam.
Oh,
just like weddings. Just like it's a scam, and they scam people at their lowest point when someone that they love has just died. Throw me in the fucking trash. Put me in a pauper's grave. Burn me. Well, don't burn me because there's some religions. You know, I gotta play it safe, like a Benny from The Mummy with all of the religions. You know what I mean? Don't burn. Just throw me out.
Why not just cremate it?
I don't like it. I don't like the fire. Also, I have a claustrophobia, and I just imagine that was supposedly one of my past lives was a chimney sweep child that died in the chimney. I just imagine somebody lighting a fire and I'm dead. Do you know what the psychic tried to say? And that's the reason I like to smoke. Girl, if I was a chimney sweep, that was the last thing I'd want to do. If I died from the smoke, bitch, come on, please. I could have been a psychic out here scamming. That would be the best. But
I mean, maybe what about one of those like tree pod things?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, or
one of those mushroom coffins.
Yeah, the mushroom coffin. The fungi are very interesting.
They are
little creatures.
They're really dope. Ooh, I know the perfect place. You can get what you want, and for science, you can donate your body
to farm.
The body farm.
Yeah. And I get to haunt people.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, she's scary," and I'd be like, "Yeah."
Just you in the woods.
Just throw me on out with the bugs.
Yeah.
Sprinkle some garbage on me. Sprinkle some like old like Mighty Boosh DVDs on top of my corpse. Just cover me in
leave it to the woods.
Saran wrap. That would be great. I would love that. You and I also thought about for a funeral, which I think about that when I'm driving, like specifically, because I'm like, oh, I'm probably gonna die. So what do I want? Like, I'm probably gonna die in a car accident. So I'm like, what would I like? And one of the things like I've always wanted to do is have my body put in display and have like a normal funeral, but then have a hydraulic lift. And at the end of the funeral, this is the coffin, fling me across the room. Nothing leading up, just to make people upset. Make people uncomfortable, and just, I want them to be, and then I want you to be outraged in the crowd. At the end of this funeral. I want to plant somebody in the crowd to stand up and start screaming, "Oh God!" That's just part of the event.
Oh my
That's if
God.
I ever get married. I want to do the same thing, similarly, except me on the chair, and it just flings me across the room and I hit the wall. That might lead up to my funeral. So could you imagine? That's how I die. And then during the funeral, just launch.
I think honestly, I think that people would show up to your funeral if they knew about it. But like,
Yeah, the
given the
great, like,
history, I just think that they would not find out about it until like it was too late. They're like, oh fuck, like how did I not
I'm
get this
very
in the mail?
secretive.
And just like, Erica, she sent
That,
shit late.
yeah, she shows up late. She is late at everything. Show up hours late with a giant Diet Coke in my hand, not knowing
Like,
how my life is going.
the funeral home forgets about it. They just like leave you in the fucking car for 5 hours.
Yeah, that would be me. They would put me in the Astro van from like 1998 because I would refuse to pay for the hearse. And they're like, yeah, put her in the fucking cleaner van. It's like throw you in there. Forget about me. I'd be one of those body. I read a story. This person went to a funeral for their family member, and they saw a curtain with a foot sticking out. And what I wouldn't give for that to be me, my foot sticking out, haunting a whole entire other funeral, free of charge.
Oh my
They had all these
God.
bodies stacked up. One of the bodies flung out, and the foot came out from behind the curtain, like the Wizard of Oz.
Oh
That
my
would be
God.
great.
That's insane.
I was so jealous. I was like, that could have been my foot.
Maybe one day.
Oh, yes.
Well, thank you for talking with me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it.
I'll let you know when it all comes out.
Thank you.
Oh, right. I forgot to ask. Are we really friends?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Good. I have to.
Don't you
it's
love
in
me? You're on my friend shelf.
I am. I'm on your metaphysical imaginary shelf.
Friend shelf. I have about 8.
Okay.
I keep on the shelf.
I love that. I love that for you.
Yeah. You're on one. All right. You're on one.
Thank you. Have a good night. And
you too. You later. All right. Bye, girl.
Bye. Thank you for listening today. Our next episode is going to be on a subject I'm not very comfortable with, which is violence and abuse in regards to our friendships. I'll be joined with my friend Maddie. I hope you'll join us too. Have a great day.